Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder, episode 115. We're cooking with gas this season. We haven't let yous down yet, because once more, even after about 2 hours nearly of waiting to record tonight, we're here at high definition in yet another different looking episode. As Kieran said a couple of weeks ago, we are finding that artistic vision. You're laughing at.
I don't know what I thought you were about to say. It was not artistic.
I knew exactly what I was saying. I mean, some people would maybe add that that's the case. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's nice to see you. We are here downstairs in the G4 studios this time, back to where we usually are. But we are in that nice wee casual setup. How's the couch this week?
Rock solid compared to upstairs.
Do you prefer upstairs?
Yeah.
Why?
No, like the cushions now.
I feel the cushions has helped me if anything.
Is it?
I mean, this is why the couches, it's the pure aesthetic looking one, but they don't prioritise comfort, I'll tell you that.
Oh, shots fired at G4. We have a couch like that in the living room and it pisses me off. So, yeah, thoughts and prayers with you. On that note, my guests this evening, we'll start away over at the right-hand side. We have Mr. Kieran Auld. Apart from the uncomfortable position your arse finds itself in right now, how are you doing?
In the grand scheme of things, alright.
Arse aside.
I mean, that aside, aye.
How's the week been?
I mean, we're only on Wednesday, aren't we? So
It's an early one this week.
plenty of time for the week to let me down.
Do you not think this proper throws you off recording on a Wednesday? Like,
I know, I feel like they've got a set routine a day on the Thursday, but
the more it feels like it should be Friday now, like, and it's not. I'm going to wake up and shock. It's going to be Thursday. Anyway, Kieran is here and Kieran is depressed. Calum on this couch as well beside him. You're very close to each other tonight. Calum, how you doing?
Okay, not bad. It seems not even a two-seater couch. It generally just feels like a single-seater and they're just squeezed in together.
A good old
if
fashioned.
there's any breaking news tonight about transfers, I can do the Jimmy Carragher.
Breaking news: Brendan Rodgers has been sacked by Celtic. We'll recreate that tonight. So, how's your week been?
Okay, good. Obviously, just getting everything set up for the launch on Friday, but looking forward to it.
There's a Sellik the Thunder launch party at the new Adidas Glasgow Fort store. Make sure to get there. Me, Kieran and Calum will be podcasting live.
Somebody shouted up to the tills.
2 minutes. Listen, that should be a thing. I've seen these Instagram influencers being invited for signings and stuff to, like, what's that show? Quiz and all that up the fort. Like, if they have that, we should be allowed to fucking podcast in Adidas. I'm sure like
I tell you now, there's not much room for a setup.
Is there no?
No, it's not a massive show, but it's
no.
Not enough space for fucking
Right,
a couch and two chairs.
I get you.
See, the way the light's hitting your face, I don't know if it will be picked up on camera, but you look you're about to go goblin mode or something, man, 'cause half your face is like hot, flit up green, and I'm like, it's pure unnerving. Like.
Goblin mode. What's Willem Dafoe's character called again? Spider-Man. No. I mean his actual real fucking.
I don't know.
That's it. I feel like there's like a light. No, you can't do this to me. I started this company.
How about you if we find a replacement?
First episode of the new guys. No. You can't do this to me. Oh God, it's maybe a Celtic podcast. So Celtic, we've not mentioned Celtic yet. We're going to try and fly through today's episode, ladies and gents, because I'm not going to lie to you. It's 9 p.m. Usually we finish up for no later than 9ish, and that's us only started recording. So if we do seem quite rushed tonight, we do have our beddy buys to get to. Kieran's got work in the morning. Calum's got
Thankfully, I day off, but I've been at the house for dinner 12 hours, so.
And Ryan's not got a real job.
This is the people are my job. They are my employers.
You're a boy here, I've saying I am their shepherd.
No, I'm never a shepherd. I am always a sheep. Right, let's talk about Sellik because we've got a few things to talk about. It's been a good week for the club on the pitch as we see ourselves through to the quarter-finals of the League Cup. We'll face Falkirk, but we'll talk about that a little bit later because transfers are the priority. This is the penultimate show that we will do ahead of transfer deadline day. By the time this podcast is out, there's only a week to go, lads, in the transfer window, and things are getting tense. It was never going to be an easy transfer window. It was never going to be a fun transfer window, but Celtic love to make it hard and stressful. And this morning we got some news which added on even more misery around Kyogo, who is apparently a target for Manchester City. Now, as we were waiting to record tonight, Kieran, you said there was an update on the Kyogo
Well,
stuff.
I seen on Twitter that apparently the valuation we've set is £20 million, and I suppose you can maybe read into that how you like about us setting a valuation for him. But
Because we heard earlier today that there was a story that Atalanta and Besiktas were apparently two interested clubs in Cameron Carter-Vickers, but Celtic said no, didn't even set a price for him, whereas now, if there's a price on Kyogo's head, Kieran, does that give you the fear that maybe means that Celtic are open to business?
I know, I do think that is something that's playing on my mind a wee bit, because if you've went out your way to put that £20 million, maybe it's the sort of thing that you would think, would put a team off buying him because he's age, he's pushing 30, so you would think that would scare any team off, but it's Man City we're talking about here.
Yep.
£20 million are dropping the ocean to Man City, so
They want to get it spent before they go to court next week and before they're banned for spending.
like, it's certainly a rumour, well, not even a rumour, but a sort of an interest that we've spoke about in this podcast is thinking because of his age, it wouldn't have came. Like, this interest, we thought, right, I mean, I've said on this podcast before about how I thought we're at the perfect age with Kyogo where he will stay as long as we kind of need him to stay, sort of thing, but now him scoring against them in pre-season is perfect.
I know he gave Pep Guardiola quite literally first-hand evidence of what he's capable of, which I hate him now for. We'll need to go back to the start of all of this because it's just like we've jumped right in here at the news that came out tonight. May I just add, we are recording this 9 p.m, Wednesday, 3 minutes past 9. And this will change and develop by the time this podcast out. It happened last week. We came on, we spoke about Matt O'Reilly, and by the time that we finished the podcast, there was a new update on Matt O'Reilly. It felt outdated. So just keep that in mind as you listen to the Sellik the Thunder this week. Things may change in the coming hours. Calum, it first came out this morning via The Athletic. The headline was that Kyogo was wanted by Manchester City and that he was one of two options. They had withered their Julian Alvarez replacements down to one of two players. Kyogo was named as one of them. The other was an unnamed young player. Quite daunting to see Kyogo's name in that article because I didn't expect him to be linked with any move away in this window.
No, mostly the fact that obviously the closest the only thing we've really heard about him in the window is obviously when he's changed his agent. About that, that's the most it's came of. But then obviously there was your typical WhatsApp rumour, somebody took a screenshot of one earlier on. It's just typical, no bother, somebody's predicted it weeks ago. But yeah, I think it's just been very sort of out of the blue. I think because obviously the main focuses have been O'Reilly, Hitati of recent, and then Ida. Nobody's even touched on Kyogo, and then I know we're up with us.
Well, a week to go. Does that worry you? The fact that it is. How would your perception of this change if this was maybe June rather than a week to go? Because this is now a very nervous week for Celtic fans to see if we keep not only one but two of our key and best players.
Oh, 100%. I think more so as like Kieran touched on, because it's Man City, it's not as if he's been linked with like a Southampton or something like that where it'll be humming and hawing. Celtic turn around, give a price as if it is that 20 million that we've said. Man City, they've got no issue with that kind of money. They very easily could be a case we could wake up tomorrow or even tomorrow afternoon. He's away.
Aye.
Because there is no issue with the money. So it is quite worrying. more so to the fact of when the likes of you could have looked at then a second backup, the likes of Miovski, but obviously he's already away. He's had his moves, so then what do you do for any form of then another replacement?
I guess the comfort, if there's any comfort to find in it, is that we have just shelled out £9.5 million on a striker who we can maybe trust to be our first choice, Kieran. But Kyogo feels, dare I say, irreplaceable. He is arguably, and most people now would say, and we've had this kind of conversation so many times over the past 3 years, the best since Larsson. And even though he's ageing and he's got a shoulder made of dodgy Lego, this is still somebody who scores 15, 20 goals a season for Celtic. This is still somebody who has been so key to the transitional periods, both for Ange Postecoglou and Brendan Rodgers. It's somebody who the fans have taken to as one of the greats, the modern greats. Losing them would feel like a bit of a kind of stab to the heart, wouldn't it? It wouldn't feel right.
We genuinely cannot afford to lose him.
Is it
window.
by no means at all, he doesn't go for you?
No, like we in my head, there is no way that if we lose him, we're not going to get anybody in that can replace him. What he brings to the team, because that's such a unique thing that we've not found. Like, I feel like that's why it's been so easy for people to say he has been the best since last one, because he offers something so different for even some of the best strikers that have played for us in the past 15, 20 years. So I don't think there's going to be any Celtic fan out there that will sit and say, no, I'd take it from him, especially with a week left in the window, because as you were saying, would this have been different if it came about in June? Which it would have, because you could say, right, you really don't want to see him go, but we've got time to replace him. Now we've got a week. Right? And I mean, if this is something that's been maybe in the works for a while, because you've been hearing rumours that it has been something that's maybe been spoke about for a few weeks at least. But you hope there's a plan in place if the worst case scenario happens and he leaves. But for me, we actually cannot let him leave.
Yeah, I just
at all.
It's just too late now to even entertain that. And as you've mentioned, some of these reports, the one the Athletic put out said that this is and the initial talks have already took place between both clubs, which is even more terrifying because this has been going on without our understanding, our knowledge. I've seen, I think that 80% of Celtic support, if I was to throw a rough estimate out there online anyway, obviously online supporters do not represent the collective Celtic opinions, but online I would say that maybe 80% of people are on the same bandwagon as what we've said here. We don't want him to go, we don't think we can let him go, but there has been a small amount of people going, if the money's right, let him go, and I can't understand.
I'm sick of that argument as well.
I just don't get it. I know
I
that
would
he's
barricade them in the dressing room for the rest of their career.
I even felt guilty. In my video earlier on today, I made a video and I was talking about, he's 29, he's getting on a bit, but 29, especially the way Kyogo doesn't play like your typical 29-year-old. If you were a non-football fan, you watch Celtic, you'd think Kyogo's 21, 22 the way he runs about. His age doesn't define him. He's got years left.
People say as if 29's
it's not even
over
old.
the hill.
I know.
That's prime.
I know. That is literally prime. I guess people will go, we'll never get offered that sort of money again. And what?
I don't
want him to go.
We've spoke about this previously, how we thought he would never leave, and that he's a player you're happy to see. What we were hoping would be playing out his best years of his career at Celtic. I mean, it might still stay, but I feel like this is kind of the same boat I was in with. I mean, it's slightly different, but with Jota to Saudi Arabia, it was like, that's an offer you can't refuse. That was financial terms. This is arguably the best team in the world, behind Real Madrid coming in and saying, we want you. Like, for somebody that's come here for Japan, maybe personally he would think, why would I not take this? But I think if you're the club, you cannot. If you're the club and you're talking O'Reilly, everybody's sort of resigned themselves to the fact he will be leaving.
Yep.
But I don't think they can afford the backlash they'll get for the fans with selling the best striker at the club with a week to go in the window.
No, I think that the backlash would be, I think you'd see it very quickly. But the first home game back's the derby. I mean, I think you'd see it as early as the derby, the fans.
But you're gambling so much with this, you cannot afford to. We were speaking about last week, you can't afford to lose O'Reilly and Tatati in the same window. You can't afford to lose O'Reilly and Kyogo in the same window.
Absolutely not. Especially Calum with the way that the window has went. We are here, we'll come on to talking about the Polish player from LAFC, Bogish, who has been linked with the club and looks like he will be signing for the club. We'll come on to talk about him, but the club haven't offered enough evidence to us that they would be capable of replacing Kyogo in the next 7 days. And Brendan Rodgers wanted 3 strikers this season. He would have 1 if Kyogo goes. So really, there is nowhere you can sit it right now and go, yeah, we'll replace him, it's fine, we'll spend that money well, because it's not easy to attract these world-class strikers.
No, I mean, the fact it took us, over a month to get you this sorted. the fact it took us that long to get that deal sort of out the way and sorted for us to then go and turn around and sell, as we've all said there, the best striker at the club a week to go. It'd be an absolute farce if that was to go ahead.
And it's just, I just don't get the people that are like, we'll be fine or whatever. We see how hard it is to score goals in Europe with a player like Kyogo. So then when you sell him, what is our plans for Europe if he goes? I just don't. There's just so much to talk about.
It's the point that you made about the fact Rodgers says he wanted the 3 strikers. Surely he's sitting there like, you cannot.
He's got to be putting the foot down.
City.
He's got to be putting.
And
the foot
I've seen
down.
a few of the questions that they talking about this sort of maybe Rodgers getting frustrated with the board. We'll leave it to
The questions,
Ben so we can
aye.
answer them, because I feel bad when we talk about it and don't actually. Sorry, we've already spoken about it.
We'll come back to next week. Next week. There was a question I was going to pose there about the Kyogo stuff. Before we move on to the other transfers and stuff, because this will probably develop and we don't know how much is actually in it to believe it yet. Well, I do believe it. It's obviously a story that has. There's no smoke without fire. This is real. We're dealing with a very real situation here, but we don't know how fast it's going to develop and where it's going to go. But on that note, I want to ask you both, Calum. Maybe not on a scale of 1 to 10, but where in your line of belief are you scared? Or do you think this will happen, or do you think it'll go away?
Part of me hopes it's sort of one of the ones. Just hope it's a nightmare. You wake up and it's a non-starter. But again, it's just when it is a club like that with money to chuck about, they won't faff about it. As I've said, it does put me quite nervous on like potentially a 6, a 7 pushing towards it. But you can only hope, as Kieran touched, Rodgers does just put his foot down and say, this can't happen.
Aye, Kieran.
I think 6 or 7 is pretty bang on, because it's not quite to the point where
Nobody's a 10.
but I just think it is a terrifying prospect with such little time left in the window. I think it would have still been the same terrifying prospect at the start of the window, because you know what the board's like and how they drag their feet with transfers.
Do you know what the worst part is? Because we're so deep in the window, I feel like most available strikers have got their moves. There's so many strikers that have moved. Even, Celtic were never going to be able to sign somebody, I think, like this. But for talking sake, Armando Broja has just went to Ipswich. That's a player who I'd be like, that'd be a cracking replacement for Kyogo in my eyes. But even a player like him, this is just purely hypothetical. I'm not saying that he was the replacement. He should have been. But he's just the first example getting my head. He's gone. He's away. And many strikers across Europe have got their moves.
We should phone Kvitsgarden again.
Oh,
see what he's up
God,
to.
aye.
Ryan
You know what I
McGinlay,
would-
we phone him now.
I feel bad because I feel I'm relatively calm. And I think that the week's going to be testing. I think the week's going to be frustrating, but I think I'm maybe calmer than the average fan online just now, because I don't see it. I don't know if that's just naive of me. I just don't see it. And I spoke about this in the way here to use. Maybe it is just me being naive, and you can challenge me on it. But I just don't see why Manchester City, the biggest club in the world at the moment, best club in the world to be at, would go for wee Kyogo. I just don't get it. They can sign anybody for this big bad world, and some exciting wonder kid from Brazil or some proven striker in Italy, but Kyogo, who might need surgery on his shoulder, is the player that they want to go for. It baffles me, and maybe that's just naivety.
I'm telling you, this is payback for beating them in the
I know.
in pre-season.
And that's, I feel very disrespectful to Kyogo saying that, because I said this.
We talk him up, but
No, he's great. And I guarantee it. See if he was, he won't start because Haaland's their striker. But if he was to start, he'd score 20 goals a season in the Premier League. I'm confident of that, because he's good at getting on the end of creative football, and Man City play very, any decent striker's probably going to score 20 goals for Man City. So he would score. And we do talk him up, but I can't believe he's getting when was the last time Celtic sold to a Big Six club?
Tierney.
Yeah.
Yeah, KT.
And he was the first in God knows how long, wasn't he?
Because we had sold Van Dijk to Southampton when Yama.
So it just doesn't happen, and that's why I feel like I'm struggling to believe it and see it.
I know. It is. I'm not going to lie, it's baffling because it's, as we spoke about, it's not something we've ever considered. Like we felt pretty safe with Kyogo. He wasn't going to be going anywhere, but then you just get blown out the water with these kind of talks, and it just makes me fall out of love with football.
Kieran Auld famously does not like football.
I feel like it gets reiterated every week, but this is making me even more hateful towards it.
Right, well, that's Kyogo for now. We'll probably have to revisit Kyogo in the questions.
Aye.
So we won't burn out there. Matt O'Reilly, it's been endless. I'm actually getting sick and tired of Matt O'Reilly. Absolutely not. Stay, please. I'll never get sick and tired of you. I'm getting sick and tired of this whole saga though, because I feel like it's been at a bit of a, not a standstill, but just I feel like it's the same thing. It comes out every week at this point. Oh, the move's close, and it's not happened. Calum, from this point last week, it's not changed massively. Brighton are now the club that are poised to land them, so the only difference is it's not at Atlanta, it's Brighton. Now, what we did here was that Brighton were looking to finalise the deal with Billy Gilmore to then sign Matt O'Reilly, and it's now looking like that deal with Billy Gilmore is set to be closed over the coming days, which will give Brighton maybe this kind of launch that they need to go and get O'Reilly. Just general thoughts. There's not much else we can say about O'Reilly that we haven't said in the last few weeks, but are you preparing yourself for that exit at least, would you say?
Yeah, I've done everything I can to prepare for it at this point. Again, I think just because like the sort of the continuation of it with Atalanta, I thought they might have just said, right, do you know what, just give them what they want, draw a line under it and that's it. But I think it's just, as you said, it's just a case of waiting on Napoli. I think it'll look at Gilmore. Yeah. I think it's just a case, as soon as that's announced, it'll probably just be one in, one out.
Pieces fall into place.
It's quite actually a straight swap there, realistically. So I can, or you just do what you don't want to see if you want to see the back of Matt O'Reilly.
Of course
but
not.
Obviously, it is at the point you know it's going to happen. It's sort of rip my band like a plaster. Yeah. Just get it undone.
Here's the question for you though, and it's one that we've not really discussed too much on here. Is there any part of you, and you can just say no, because I think most people probably would just say no to this. Is there any part of you anywhere that could see a world where Matt O'Reilly goes, I'd rather stay at Celtic, I get European football, I'll wait till next year, I'll wait till January maybe, and one of these big clubs will come back? Or do you think it's as simple as done?
Nah, I think more so obviously he'll want to go and test himself down there in the Premier League. It's obviously the best league in the world it's put out to us. And then more so the fact, I don't feel like he realises just a big money person. Doesn't really come across as that, but obviously again, somebody turns around and goes, there's triple your wages. You're going to take it regardless.
It's the ultimate stepping stone, isn't it?
Aye, realistically, it gets down there, gets an arm move again.
Exactly. Kieran, once again, I don't know what to ask you that hasn't been asked on Matt O'Reilly. We've covered it head to toe the past few weeks. Have you just got any general thoughts?
I mean, as you said, it's getting incredibly tedious having to talk about the same thing over and over, because it's, you know, he's gone. You know he is going. You ask Calum there, is there any part of me that thinks he'll stay? Nah. But, I mean, you raised the point about maybe staying, get a big club in January. I think he knows himself he could get a move in January. I don't think he's got any doubts in his own abilities and that. But if he's getting the offer now, as Calum said, he's getting to go and play in the most watched league in the world. Yep. He's seen players that have even left for Celtic and used smaller clubs as a stepping stone to bigger things. Yep. I resigned myself to it weeks ago that he would be leaving, and I'm kind of shocked that it's not already happened, to be honest. And I spoke about last week, you're seeing the whole pair he's playing this week, maybe isn't, but that's gone completely.
Yeah, I don't want people thinking that we're just pushing him out the door here, because I can guarantee you none of us want him to leave. There's no chance. We're not endorsing his move, but I think it's just about being realistic sometimes. And what won't help is Brighton, brilliant at the weekend. Yet again, under a new manager. This is 3 managers in a row now. They've went from Potter to De Zerbi to your man from St. Pauli, who's on the back of it. I thought you I look like a dick. I'm like, your man from St. Pauli. No, I was going to,
because it was controversial and my hair's a fucking riot.
As if you're from Hamburg or something. I'm like, your man from St. Pauli. They look good, and Matt O'Reilly will know how exciting it can be to play there. It's just being realistic. We'll wait to see if any more updates come out about him. Maybe even during this show. Who knows? And there was also another talking about outs, and then we'll get to the ins. Let's go over these two very, very quickly. Cameron Carter-Vickers, his name popped up today. It was not a great day to be a Celtic fan, to say the least. His name popped up. He was attracting interest from Galatasaray, Atalanta, and Besiktas. They all made approaches, apparently, for Cameron Carter-Vickers, but they were rejected by the club. They're not open to selling. That was the Daily Express who reported that. Kieran, we kind of touched on this. Very different from the Kyogo approach, it seems. At least it looks... He's staying.
Aye.
He's staying.
Oh, we can find the one ray of sunshine in this gloomy day. But, I mean, it shouldn't even be a question. You shouldn't be entertaining that, especially when we've not even signed another centre-half to what we spoke about, maybe replacing Liam Scales in the starting lineup. You can't then go and lose your already guaranteed starter. It's just an absolute no-go. And as you said, I wish they just took this approach with Kyogo as well, because we actually don't need the money.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating, because I've went into this someone expecting Matt O'Reilly to leave, but seeing all these names pop up, it's just raising my blood pressure, man.
Do you know what the most frustrating thing is about this window is? The fact that we're still sitting here with bugger all, really.
We're in the same spot as last season.
The same spot as we are for last week when we sat and complained. So you can't blame Celtic fans for being annoyed and frustrated and scared of this window. As I said, I feel like we're riding our luck with how poor things are getting ran over the other side of the city, that we can actually be so nonchalant, if you like. Here's an awful question before we move on to the ins. It just popped into my head, and I love an awful question. This is an awful question. If at the start of the window, right, and I want both your answers. You can pick. Don't feel pressured into saying a certain person. If at the start of the window, the big god of the transfers came to you, don't know what he looks like, probably Jim White in a white gown.
Fabrizio Romano.
I used to devil actually.
Yeah, he's I'm not gonna get political, but he's a, what do you call it? What's that word?
Arsehole.
He is an arsehole. Sympathiser. He's a sympathiser, isn't he? A Mason Greenwood sympathiser. But anyway, if Jim White came down with his halo and his big white gown and he said to you, Matt O'Reilly, Kyogo, Cameron Carter-Vickers, two of them have to go in this window, you can only keep one. What one would you have kept at the start of the window? I think that's quite an interesting question.
Try to transport myself back to the mindset of
June Kieran.
May, June.
Do you feel like you have one, Calum, out of the three?
No, really, no, but I think it's more like the Carter-Vickers one. What's the close we've been linked with centre back? Scott McKenna. Yeah. But that is not a fucking replacement there for a start. Again, you lose Kyogo. For how long it took us to get you there over the line, doesn't it fill you with confidence? And then again, O'Reilly, your last play you won't be losing. It's
a tough one to pick one, isn't it?
Aye,
it's a really tough one to pick one. I'll give you mine. If it was the start of the window, I think things would maybe change now. If it was the start of the window, I'd have said Cameron Carter-Vickers. Because I genuinely, I think he's the best centre-half I've seen since Van Dijk at Celtic. And I think you could even make the case that he's eclipsed Van Dijk for his time at Celtic alone. I think you could make that argument. I just think it's really hard to find a centre-half like that. Plus, he's probably the only reason Liam Scales gets a game, because he makes him look okay. I would have said Vickers at the start of the window. That would be my answer, yeah.
I know, I get that, because I feel like even back at the end of last season, I was resigned that, right, that was probably O'Reilly's last time playing for Celtic, and I was fully expecting to go before now, but Kyogo's the weird one, but because it's somebody that I just would have never have thought would have had to have been sat here having this conversation about, but the transfer window loves to throw up these horrible, horrible situations for us to sit and talk about.
So you would have picked...
I'd probably...
It's not that deep anyway.
Nah, I'd probably echo your sentiment with Carter-Vickers, but...
Calum, you picked one.
I think, again, the way it sounds, if I'm just sort of saying, that, but I think it has to be Carter-Vickers realistic when you look at how poor we were missing them last season.
I think the biggest difference is time. I think if you said to me in May, what two of them have to go, in May, I would have thought, right, we can replace O'Reilly and Kyogo, but I wouldn't have believed in us to replace Vickers. It's different with a week to go, because I don't think we can replace Kyogo and O'Reilly. So, very temperamental question. Right, last transfer story before we get to the half-time quiz. It's hard. What are we on?
29.
Fucking hell, 29 already. Christ. Celtic are set to make their next signing of the window. That's about to happen, it seems. There was an update on Alvin Sanchez earlier. I'd never seen that. Keen to join Celtic.
£3 million.
Yeah, didn't see that. Anyway, Matthias Bogus of LAFC is set to join Celtic. He has reportedly been in talks with the club for joining a fee between £6.8 million and £8.5 million. He is currently enjoying life in the MLS. 18 goals and assists in 24 games this season. Can play as a centre forward, a central attack midfielder. Can play all over the place, it seems. This one popped up this morning very quickly. First impressions, Calum?
From what I've seen, seems good. Obviously, it'd be nice to see you spending a bit of money. Just feel unfortunate for the boy going from LA to the East End of Glasgow, but so be it.
He's went from Ibiza to LA to here. What a poor bastard.
That's horrific.
That is horrific. Kieran, your first impressions?
I mean, as I say, I feel like I've not seen a great deal of him. I've seen the clips on Twitter and that. I feel like that's all you can really go off it. But I mean, his goals and assists return for last season's pretty. It's a good indication of the sort of player. Is it this season? I've
2024 kit is still going on.
See, is that the man? It's like 24 appearances and 13 goals.
That's this season.
Somebody on Twitter put last season as well. I'm seeing conflicting
this,
shit as
this
well.
Season, because they play January.
That's
because last season he only had wasn't a great return last season, put it that way. But anyway, your point. Sorry,
but I mean that's the sort of profile you're looking for in a player. He fits the right age bracket and I'd imagine it's also a bonus as we spoke about his versatility of being able to play multiple positions. But I've seen people having the debate on Twitter, who's he coming in to replace, because his position this season for the most part has been centre forward.
Yep.
And I think that raised a few more alarm bells for people as well. But just like that, Ryan. Yes. Perfect.
That was my head this morning. No, it's a point. Is it the O'Reilly replacement? Don't know. Is it the Kyogo replacement? I hope no. It's generally really difficult to tell, but it looks good, and that's the main thing. So we'll wait and see how it develops. We'll not get carried away too much with him just now because we don't know if it's happening. We just know it's,
I mean, the guy that reported it was the same guy
very
that done
reliable.
Juranovic and Navrowski.
It will happen. I'm pretty confident of that. But we'll just wait and see. So that was that. The only other story that came out today with transfers is that Yuki Kobayashi is gone. Very quietly. The club haven't actually announced it yet, I don't think. But he's joined Portuguese side Portimonense on a permanent deal.
Good luck to him.
Good luck to him. What a waste of time, though.
I know, but it was not cut out for here.
No, it was not. It was not. Very poor. Him and Liam Scales, they would be a good centre-back pair.
In another universe.
Before we move on to the half-time quiz, any last points about transfers at all from any of you these want to throw out?
I cannot wait for this transfer window to be over and done with, man.
Very same.
It's nuts because we record...
We'll record next Wednesday.
On the 28th, and the window shuts on the 30th.
So will we be any further along? Who knows? Come back in a week and find out.
I have a feeling we'll be sitting here having the same conversations. Ryan McGinlay will be on next week, actually.
We'll just let him talk.
Aye. He can tell us that Chris Garden's on his way. Sorry, had to get that dig in there. So he's cussed at Arnie Engels isn't coming anymore.
I know. Back page of the Herald.
Aye, that's that. Done. McGinlay should just get a miss. I'm going to tell him next week. Just fucking wrap it with the transfers. Right.
He's like, but it's my job.
Stick to the fucking stats, pal. Not unexpected goals. So, anyway, half-time quiz, and it's a good one today. I'm actually really looking forward to this. Now, Kieran has given it a name, but we can't actually call it the name he wants to call it because we want our show to not get looked in a bad light.
Tells it after that. I was going to say
well,
shows.
I can guess what it is anyway.
That's the name. Put it this way, it's Beat the Pundit and you can do the rest. So basically I have 10 questions. I'm going to ask one of our great pundits, Kieran or Calum. The other will be out of the room, come back and then try to beat the score of the first pundit. And our half-time quiz last week was won by me, but the full-time quiz was won by...
Me?
Yes, Kieran.
I got a point for that.
Kieran, I'll let you choose if you'd like to go first or second.
I'll go second. I'm choking for a drink, man. I'm going to take my can out.
Right, well, Kieran is leaving the room. I'm not going to. We're going to change it in. We're going to not do it in Clyde Wan fashion. I'm just going to give you all 10 questions. You've not got a time limit.
That's what I was going to say. How are we doing this?
So Kieran's going to leave the room. I'll message him when he's to come back.
Right.
I'm just going to give you all 10. Whatever you get out of 10 is basically what Kieran's going to be. I can't be asked to try to time it. And I can't read Bradley Walsh. So, Calum, are you ready for your 10 questions?
As ready as I'll ever be.
You've got all the time you like. You don't need to rush.
Do I just sit and talk?
Aye, fuck him. Fuck you, Kieran. I'm waiting for it. I heard that. Right, Calum, question number 1. Alongside Kyogo, which player has been today linked with a move to Manchester City?
Is this all Celtic related?
No,
just
sorry.
in general.
In general,
fuck,
sorry.
I've got fucking Scooby in.
We spoke about it in the motor.
Good again. Fuck's sake. Right, we need to geek him that one, I know. Right.
Well, we don't need to. Right. Who won the 2014 League Cup at Celtic Park?
Aberdeen.
Correct. Who do Motherwell play in their League Cup tie next month?
Dundee United.
Correct. Who has a bigger capacity, McDermott Park or Capello?
McDermott Park.
It's actually Capello. It's a shot. That's a tricky one.
I wouldn't have
guessed it. Name any team in Scotland's Nations League group.
Norway. Or is it? One's just going, are we?
The one coming up.
Oh, fuck, I've not got a clue.
I was about to say because Norway's not there.
One's just going.
Who made the Chelsea kits prior to Nike?
Umbro.
No, is it Adidas?
Is it? Fuck, I can remember the Lampard, the yellow and blue.
What stadium will host the 2025 Champions League final?
It's Signal Iduna Park.
It was a good guess as well because it's Germany, but it's the Allianz.
Fuck.
Good guess as well. Who scored Liverpool's only goal in the UEFA Cup tie versus Celtic in 2003?
Fucking hell. Pass.
Emil Heskey. Tony Watt has just signed on loan for which club?
Did it go back to Motherwell?
Yes, correct. And finally, your last question. What SPFL team would you find playing their home games at Oakview Park?
Stenhousemuir.
Correct. That's not bad. Five. I've got to message Kieran. Kieran, come back. That's not bad.
That was a panic. I don't know why I kept rushing myself as if I'm on beat the pundit.
I know, exactly. But that's because you're used to it in that format. But,
aye.
I mean, there was a couple I thought you'd maybe get, but we'll come to them because Kieran is returning to the studio. Five. You've got to beat 5. I know we usually. I know and beat the pundit. You don't usually tell them, but because we're already changing the rules, and beat the pundit usually get a minute, and I'm giving you as long as you like. So you just know what you need to beat. But maybe in future we'll take that rule away. I don't know.
I had time to go to the toilet. That really was them.
It was a good bit of time. Right, Kieran, are you ready for your attempt?
Yes, go for it.
See if you can win, ladies and gentlemen. I've lost it. Here we go. Right, Kieran. Question number 1. Alongside Kyogo, which player has been not all Celtic related, by the way. Alongside Kyogo, which player today has been linked with a move to Manchester City?
Gundogan.
Correct. I thought I was going to have to do this.
I was waiting on it.
Question number 2. Who won the 2014 League Cup at Celtic Park?
Aberdeen.
Correct. Who do Liverpool, sorry. Who do Motherwell play in their League Cup tie next month?
Dundee United.
Correct. What has a bigger capacity, McDermott Park or Capello?
McDermott Park.
Wrong. It's Capello. Name any team in Scotland's Nations League group.
Croatia.
Correct. Who made the Chelsea kits prior to the switch to Nike?
Adidas.
Correct. Which stadium will host the 2025 Champions League final?
Ooh. I would need to just say a guess. San Siro.
No. Come back to it at the end. I'll go through them all. Who scored Liverpool's only goal in the UEFA Cup tie versus Celtic in 2003?
Gerrard.
No. Tony Watt has signed on loan to which Premiership club?
Motherwell.
Correct. correct. And which SPFL team would you find playing their home games at Ochilview Park?
Stennismuir.
Correct. Well, sorry, Calum. 7 out of 10. Kieran?
I'll take it.
Not bad.
Wait, what was the one you want to revisit?
So we'll go through them all and I'll give you both what you put. So first one, you were both right. Ilkay Gundogan was correct. Second, Aberdeen. They won the League Cup in 2014 at Celtic Park. Dundee United, both of you got that as well. Both of you got off to a flyer. Both 3-3. You both fell at Capello. That is bigger than McDiarmid Park. Capello's official capacity is 11,589, while St Johnstone's McDiarmid Park is 10,740. The Nations League group for Scotland, Kieran was the only one that got one right. It's Portugal, Croatia and Poland who are in the group.
Got that.
I wouldn't have got it in a million years.
Do you not remember that? Actually, I remembered Portugal.
This was the one I was shocked at. You said Umbro for the Chelsea
because
kits.
I was thinking prior to that, because it won just before Adidas was them.
Aye, so Adidas was correct. They made the kits before Nike. The final, Calum was closer. You said Signal Iduna Park. You said the San Siro.
I had no clue.
It's the Allianz Arena in Munich. Yep, that's the correct answer. The goal for Liverpool in the tie, both of you got it wrong. You said Gerrard, you just passed, didn't you? Emil Heskey.
Fuck it now.
Who was actually a player, but if it wasn't for KSI, you know. Tony Watt, Motherwell, both of you got that one correct, and then both of you got Ochilview, which was Stennismuir. So you were quite close, to be fair. The one that done you was Adidas and
Feed
and
went
the
blank,
Nations
and then
League.
Scotland.
Nah,
That's
which-
connect out, you know, for Indies.
That was good though. I enjoyed that. That was a good
Aye.
one. Well done, lads. Good participation. We'll be back for the full-time quiz, which will be between me and Calum. Let's very quickly go over the weekend. We play St Mirren away from home. Chance to make it 3 out of 3. We played well again at the weekend, Calum, against Hibs in the League Cup. Kyogo has picked up his wee knock and all the rest of it. He might be back, he might not be back. Maida looked electric. How are you thinking going out of the weekend?
I can only hope it's sort of like more of the same. Obviously, you will now see Ida getting himself on, obviously with Kyogo taking the knock, but you can only hope it is sort of more of the same football we've been seeing the past couple of weeks, off to a fast start and try and kill the game off as early as possible.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he does get a start. It would be nice. Aye. I don't like talking about the football.
No, as I said before, we're big picture guys.
We're big picture guys.
We're big picture and quiz and that.
TikToks and
If you
shit.
came here for analysis, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah,
but
so in the wrong place. Listen, St Mirren is obviously a tough place to go, but last year we'd done it. So Brendan Rodgers has given us the first-hand evidence that we should be confident going out again last year.
I know it's a game when as you spoke about the importance of going 3 for 3. It's about building that confidence, especially all the sort of outside noise about players maybe leaving and things like that. You need to just consistently be good on the park and try and shut that out, even for players that are affected by it as well. But Rodgers won't be letting any of that get into the dressing room, I'm sure. So it'll be just about staying professional. We know it, as you say, that can be a tricky place to go. We played well there last season. You're just hoping that we can continue in the same vein of form that we've been in, because it's been nothing but positive signs so far. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of players really stepping up to the mark. Kuhn especially, getting another goal. So hopefully he can keep it up.
As silly a manner as it was still a goal.
We'll take it.
It's anticipation, isn't it? You got to be in the right place to score these goals. What did you make of Maida's performance at the weekend, Calum? Being through the middle was something we don't see often as Celtic supporters, but he stepped up to plate. He scored 2, and he looked good in doing so.
Definitely, he looked very confident within himself. Obviously, it was nice to actually see him back in amongst the team, but more so through the middle. Obviously, it's a nice wee change for him. You can see, obviously, he does feel comfortable in playing it. It's not like he doesn't look out of position a lot at all. He's getting himself into those scenarios. Obviously, the first goal looks a wee bit, obviously, the deflection takes it over the keeper, but still does everything well. Like, good on him.
Aye. Kieran, how would you feel if we ended this window with Kyogo still at the club, Ida being here, and Maida being the third choice striker?
See, that was the point I was just going to raise. It was like I seen somebody on Twitter earlier the day saying, was the weekend there a warm up for the fans, just to say he's got to be the backup striker this season to Adam Ida. But no, I mean, it shows he can play that position, but you know how useful he can be out in the wing as well, especially in the derby games. You've seen how well he's performed up against Tavernier and things like that. You kind of don't want to waste that and sort of take away that element of our attacking game, but he showed there that, I mean, he's came in for stick in the past about his finishing and some of his end product, but he's got that bit of quality in him like that, and I think that's what makes it a wee bit more frustrating, because he's capable of that, and he arguably could have got more at the weekend, but
he's just one of those players, isn't he? He's kind of enigmatic. What's that word that they use for like goalkeepers? There's a stat in it for FM. Like players like Onana, eccentricity, is that the word? He's a very
eccentric.
He's got a lot of that, isn't he? Anything can happen, sort of thing. With you might get a world class Man City like performance, or you might get no good enough for Partick Thistle. We'll see what happens with him at the weekend. Imagine he might shift back out to the wing. We'll go through the team very quickly. Schmeichel started over Sinsalo, but we spoke about this a lot in the way of the game, Kieran. I think though people might get a little bit up in arms about that, but Hibs at the end of the day, for as poor as they are at the minute, is it worth risking? I think Rodgers probably went with the safe choice and the right choice by playing Schmeichel. Maybe Falkirk's the kind of game that you can bring Sinsalo in for, but
even then you're like in the quarterfinals now.
Yeah, exactly.
We're one game away from Hampden. Do you want to take that risk? But I feel like that's the problem with having. I mean, we spoke of how good it is that we got Schmeichel and also his replacement for next season or whenever.
I think
it's but when is that game time going to come? I do get the frustrations about things like this.
Yeah.
Giving him the game time, but if that's in a Salo played and made a mistake, my God.
I think ultimately at the end of the day, Calum, a big part of that might come down to the fact if he's not, I'm not saying he's been poor in training, I can't make that assumption. I'm not the manager, I'm not the coaches, I don't see them in training. But if Sinsalo proved in training that he was ready for that cup game, maybe he would have been an undoubtable start, but maybe it's just simple as that. Maybe Rodgers doesn't think he's ready yet and doesn't want to give him that baptism of fire in case it ends in disaster.
No, 100%. I think as Kieran touched on, more sort of the fact of like, and even yourself as Hibs at the end of the day, you don't want to just put it on the chance. More sort of the fact, if those cup games, those are a one-off for teams to a point to go and prove a performance, like Kelly last season when we played them. So obviously I don't think we would have signed him if we didn't think he was ready in any capacity as to be a long-term signing, but I think he's probably just looked and said, let's just not take any chances here.
Right, I'm not even going to do team predictions, fuck it, because the team pictures, I want to go into the 12 questions, I want to dedicate time to the people this week. We skim by them so often. The team should pick itself.
It should.
It's as simple as that. The team should pick. Until
what's front line then at least?
I would say Kun, Ida, Maida. That's my front three.
Yep.
Would you all agree? Huh?
No.
See how easy was that?
So yeah, if we could do that, then the team does pick us.
Score predictions, though, I will having them
2-0.
3-1.
I'll go 2-0 as well. I
like
think
a clean sheet.
3 clean sheets at 3 in the league, that'd be pretty good. Right, that was that. Now, before we get on to Twitter questions, I didn't mention something at the start of the show, which I should have, and I completely forgot. But guess what? We only want people who are proper interested. So if you're still listening right now, we're looking for you. Yes, you. We have already started our recruitment procedure. Sounds so official, doesn't it? We started a recruitment procedure on the Celtic Funders Twitter page. If you want or you think you're good enough to be the next big pundit, I don't know. If you want to join us and you think you fit the mould, then we have put together a little document which you can go and view, and you can throw your hat in the ring. All the steps to applying are there. We've had a good few applicants already. I've got back to most of them. There are a couple I've not got back to yet, but nobody's been picked yet. We've still got a week and a half before a week at least before we pick who we're going to go for. So yeah, we don't know who it is yet, but we have got applicants, very good applicants as well, so it's not going to be easy, so bear with us. But you've still got time. We're going to keep the process running probably till the next episode airs, but after that your chance is gone, so take it while you can. Kieran's been enjoying his very ruthless approach to recruitment, haven't you?
That makes me sound like I'm out on sugar.
You're fired. Right, Twitter questions. Let's go. If I yes, I found it. Okay, right, tweet. Decky says, I'm tired, guys.
Me too.
Actually,
it's 9:45.
I'm fucking shattered. Aaron says, how lucky are the board that Rangers are somehow even more of a shambles right now?
I think very fortunate because we're getting away with a lot this summer, I feel, and we can laugh about the state of them across the road, but if they had any anything about them and weren't in this shambles, then we'd been like, obviously we're playing well now, but with everything going on outside the football, I think we'd be maybe hitting the panic button a wee bit.
Would you agree with that sentiment, Calum?
No, 100%. I think if it wasn't going so poorly across the other side of the city, I think they would very much be seeing the repercussions of their actions of being so lackadaisical, not actually fucking putting the foot down when they should. So I think we have get away with it there. You can only hope it continues like that over there, but you can only then also hope the birds still don't continue in the same fashion.
Yeah. Matthew asks, and this is asked, I think we've done this every week, this question, but it's funny to look at the evolution of our answers because they do change with time. What would a successful end to the window now look like? This changes every week, doesn't it? Because now I would just want to keep everybody. And then I'm like, that's successful, that.
With Kyogo and Matt O'Reilly, and no let out of Lennoxtown until the 31st of August.
I'll go first this time. I'll say, number one, keeping Kyogo. Number two, O'Reilly going, because I think it's inevitable, right? O'Reilly going, but with Bogish and Arnie Engels both coming in. Roger said he wants two midfielders. There's your two midfielders. So they two coming in. And I don't know where they're coming from at this rate, but a left back and a left-footed centre half. That is the perfect end to the window for me. I'll be fucking happy with that. That gets us by till January. That's my perfect end to the window.
I don't think you can even add anything to that, and I think that right there is the ideal situation, minus obviously you don't want O'Reilly to leave, but he's going to leave, so you need to be prepared. But as we said earlier, Kyogo cannot be going in this window.
Calum, Jake McFarlane, we know Jake well. Jake has asked, how high do you think the drop needs to be to take me out and not just break my legs?
The Cineworld in town should do it.
That sounds about right, aye.
Let's give a serious question. Thank you. Jake, don't do it. Fucking hell. Cal, we all love Cal. Here's the question for you, Calum, though. As good as Kyogo is, surely Man City, a team that can buy anyone they wanted, that's basically what I said earlier, isn't it? Wouldn't go in for a guy who's nearly 30 and his shoulder could go at any point to replace a 24-year-old World Cup winner in Alvarez.
No, it should be a non-starter straight away. It should be the case of, as you said, they should be going and looking at some wonder kid from somewhere in South America or such. The fact that they've then said, you know what, let's look north of the border. Yeah, we'll go for like Kyogo again.
It's bizarre.
It's not as if we're downplaying Kyogo's game whatsoever, but so the fact a 30-year-old with a gubbed shoulder, why?
The mind, I can't get it. That's why I said I think I'm being naive. It just doesn't feel right. But
it feels like after the pre-season game, so that season with Dundee United, just kept buying other players.
Oh, aye,
good games against us. Just take them.
Yep. Somebody, who was I seen? Was it? I think I seen it. My good shout out to Tam. I don't know if he listens to the podcast. Big Tam for down south. He labelled me up. He's been very vocal this summer about fans who wanted Miovski. He's very pro-Ida against Miovski, and he was saying, can't believe people are gutted about getting the Macedonian Chief Chi, which I thought was quite funny. I enjoyed that. Doogie asked, coffee or tea, milk or no milk? I'm a tea guy. Tea with milk and sweeteners.
I mean, I'm a coffee guy, but if I'm having tea, it's milk and 2 sugars. Or 2 sweeteners.
Do you prefer? You're a tea guy, aren't you?
Mainly tea. As of late, I've started a couple of coffees, just because that machine.
The one in the woke mob now.
No, it's just you join the real world, Ryan. Never. You need a coffee.
It's got about that much coffee, and the rest is milk. So it's not that coffee.
I genuinely think I could work like at 6 in the morning until 6 at night, and I wouldn't touch coffee. I hate it.
You'd be one of the guys. I don't need coffee. I'm just so hard as nails.
I'd love to see you get up at 6 in the morning.
I don't think it's ever happened. I've been for a holiday, man. Do you think the kebab pie will sway Kyogo, O'Reilly and Hatate's decisions on their moves? Also, give your wokest opinion about attending a Celtic game, says Adam. Wokest opinion?
I was trying to think of that.
I don't know if I have a woke opinion about going to the football.
See, I seen a TikTok earlier that mad.
I seen it.
the
Calum
Barnsley
fella.
fan.
Aye.
He's talking about woke things in football, but I can't think he
Like
if I've got a
Celtic,
woke
I know,
opinion
like
about
I
it.
don't have a woke opinion. Like, I feel like if anything, I am when it comes to football, I am very anti-woke. I hate anything that's woke to do with football. I hate it when people go to the football wearing fucking fashion gear. Like, it pisses me off when I see any yous rocking up with a fucking Palm Angels shirt on or something on. Where your colours?
I don't own a Pam Angels
No,
t-shirt.
no, I mean,
I don't think Calum does.
We'll wait
I
up
do
we'll wait up for the derby, and some of their mates might turn up in a fucking Gucci shirt or something. I don't know.
We're hanging about with Brendan Rodgers.
I can't even give brands or something off the top of my head. But like shit like Palm Angels, I'm like, why are you fucking wearing that? It's a derby. Get a Sellik shirt on.
The one thing that annoys me is folk that wear their tap in a jumper. That fucking infuriates me, and it shouldn't, but it does.
The only thing that works with is like American football shirts.
Aye, because they're made big. If you want a Celtic tap that's made a fucking size small as it is.
But I don't woke opinions. I can't think
I
any.
don't know, is there any like controversial rules in football that you're actually in favour of?
None of us like the live singers before games, do we? So we can't even
not
say
for
that. Adam, I think you're looking at three very anti-woke men.
fighting the good fight.
Not a question, but you can tell the third kit is either going to see us scudded 3-0 by some pot 4 team or beat a pot 1 team 2-1. Also, thoughts in Kyogo at Man City. Is there any truth in Rodgers saying he wanted free striker, says Regan? Yes, there's truth. Rodgers did say that. Kyogo at Man City, we've obviously spoke about a lot. Third kit, it is official now, boys. I want your opinions quick, Calum.
I can't like it.
I'm a fan.
I'm on the fence. I like it, but I think it's boring.
That sort of third kit's third, but just go and do
I know,
something.
I know. Do you know what it is for me? It's not that kit itself is specifically boring. It's the fact I look at those brilliant ones they've done for United, Juventus, and we're hit with that, and I'm like, why? Even have you seen the Arsenal one? That's stunning.
Can't say I have,
It's
no.
like the mad kind of bluey. Oh, it's nice.
The UV ones.
Oh, just something else.
UV ones 10 out of 10.
Thoughts on bogus? We've done that. Oh, there's a question you like, Kieran. I've not seen this. Matthew, rate and rank The Simpsons Hit and Run, The Simpsons Road Rage, and The Simpsons Game.
I think it's a simple list.
Go on.
Simpsons Hit and Run, Simpsons Game, then Road Rage.
Okay.
Purely because I never really played Road Rage.
Right.
But Simpsons Hit and Run, I wish you could check the stats on hours played on that in the PlayStation 2 the way you can with like GTA and that, because it must be silly.
In case it's not been made clear over the course of this podcast, Kieran, I am a big Simpsons fan, but Kieran is a mega Simpsons fan. This man can... We're going to start doing part of the show where we get an episode up, we'll pause it in a random frame, and Kieran will know the episode. We're going to start doing it, Kieran, I'm telling you.
That doesn't make me sound weird at all, Ryan.
No,
Thank
well,
you.
yeah, no, yeah, he's the biggest Simpsons fan I've ever met, and I mean, I love The Simpsons, but Christ, I like The Simpsons skateboarding. I enjoyed that. I also had The Simpsons wrestling, and it was one of the worst games ever, but I enjoyed it because I like wrestling.
I like, with the Simpsons Game, I remember being pure buzzing to play that, and it came out, and I maybe had it on the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360, and I went home and played it. I was like, this is fucking not what I was expecting, but then I loved it on the Nintendo DS. Simpsons Game on the DS, for me, that's pure nostalgic. Like, if I found my DS, I'd spend a full weekend in just playing that.
Mordecai says, question, how do you give yourself just enough of a lobotomy that you forget all attachments to Celtic Football Club?
Sometimes a lobotomy sounds pretty nice, man.
If you were Roseanne, if you were on MasterChef, what cuisine and or dish would you choose to cook? Pie and chips. Pie and chips.
Toast and cheesy beans.
Good old British cuisine. Yeah, that's
I think I know how to cook it.
Can't cook,
I mean,
man.
I know how to cook, but I don't know. I don't have any anything fancy in my locker.
You're getting air fried chicken and some cheese and a wrap. That's what you're
I
getting.
can make a mean chili.
Oh, really? Aye, didn't expect
Call
that.
it
Can you
Kevin's
make it,
famous
Cal?
chili.
Can you make it?
If the air fryer can make it, aye.
Me and you can team up in the air fryers then.
Fine with me.
If you could add any 2 food chains into Celtic Park, what would you go for? We've answered this in the past, but has your answers maybe changed? If you could just say 1, no 2. It was who asked the question? I don't want to give him a shout. Nathan. If you could add a food chain to Parkhead, what would it be?
Peace.
Peace.
Imagine tucking into a
That's
Cubano at the
woke.
game. There's my woke Celtic opinion. There you go.
A fucking sandwich.
I want a Cubano. It's more than a sandwich to me.
A fucking piece.
If you ask me on a surface level, I'd say I like beef. If you ask me on a deeper level,
I love peace. I love a new NY deli. I mean New York deli. Oh,
I'm not kidding. I would fuck up a Cubano.
Wow! That kind of podcast. I do love a piece, but I don't know if it's what I want when I go to the football.
I know. Imagine like the looks on the people's beside my faces, but gherkins pure fun.
I think I would just say McDonald's, mate.
Fuck that. I might be paying £7. If I'm paying £7 for something, I want it to be.
I'll say I've not had it yet, but Lucky Bees is that.
Lucky Beats is good.
I'll try that.
Never. Anyway, looks good. Means I don't need to go to fucking Giftnook for it.
There's one in the West End.
Calum, what would you add?
Had one the other day because I prefer McDonald's.
Oh,
Never enjoyed it.
that's a shout, by the way.
Never
That's
enjoyed that.
woke as well, don't get me wrong, but that's a shout.
Nah, but take that.
Better than a fucking piece. I love sandwiches, right? But not the Fitbit.
The Fitbit.
The Fitbit.
Fuck off. We're recording and wish all you're not fair.
Custody of Kyogo ladder match, says Lucy. Yes, we're going to need it.
Just when I read it, I thought it was meant between the 3 years. Why? We all want a mistake.
Triple threat leather match. And final. Oh wait, Liam is back after his question last week, asking for his thoughts on BBC. Your thoughts on BBC Araba. Says Kieran, loved your thoughts on BBC Araba. Just wondering if with what you think, if you prefer curtains or blinds. Cheers. Hello, Calum and Ryan. Your questions will be coming in due time. Thank you, Liam. Curtains or blinds?
I'm a blinds man.
You're a blinds man.
Mm-hmm. Big believer.
Beef curtains.
That's all. Not on that bombshell.
And aye, that'll do. Oh fucking hell! Oh my god, we got a lot today. What are we on? I might get up the road.
Oh, sorry for skipping it. We'll answer next.
Yeah, I actually went through, I thought that was the morning. I went. There was an advert, and let's see what
Big
other.
enough for ads.
Oh god, Sideshow Bob was back. No seen Sideshow in a while. Probably been in the jail. Chances on losing Kyogo. A lot of them are about Kyogo actually.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
How much would you be asking for Kyogo? 60 million.
I know.
No.
If I get a cut,
Holy fuck! There's a lot of questions.
I don't know. We got a
There are
lot.
tons. Like, I mean, this might be the most in a long, long time. I mean, we can't even justify answering all of them. Would be here. I was thinking about doing I mean, I would have to pay for your company. You know, I'm thinking about doing like a YouTube membership Q&A exclusive content, an extra 20 minutes of us talking, and it's just answering questions. But we'll see. That's going to be it for today. If we didn't get around to your question, please get it in for next week, and we'll try and get it covered. Right, let's finish off in the full-time quiz so Calum can get up the road, get his dinner, I can get him to my bed and edit, and Kieran can do whatever he's
Right.
doing.
So, you ready for today's full-time quiz?
Yeah.
Right. So, only one focus after today's jaw-dropping. Here we go. Build-up.
That'll be because of...
Kyogo's Celtic career.
Oh, I don't
That's
know.
what this quiz is.
It's going to be a
know.
stink up.
don't know how
Right.
I'll
So,
do
who wants to go first? I mean, I won the thing at half-time, but
I won at half-time last week.
do you want to just go by that?
I'll go first.
Right.
I'll
Cool.
go first.
Right, Ryan. Who did Kyogo score his first goal against domestically for Celtic?
Oh shit, I'm stuck between two. Who came first? The chicken or the egg? Sorry.
I'm just taking
I want to dock a point for that, man.
It's either Ross County or Dundee. Try not. It's one of the two. You're making a face as if it's no name.
I just make faces, mate. That's what I do.
Is it Ross County?
No. Dundee.
Oh!
But Ross County?
Did we not play both of them really early on that season?
Fuck knows.
Dundee was
knew-
like a 6-0 or
I
something.
know.
Did we not play both of them and score 6 against both?
One was St Mirren.
Ah, well.
That's why I pulled the face, because I knew you'd have been thinking of the two, like,
Ah,
6 games.
bastards.
Right, so Calum, to go 1-0 up here. Who did Kyogo make his Celtic debut against?
What's the fucking... Oh, it's the Champions League qualifier. Oh, I cannot remember the name of him for the life of me.
Think back to that Tenable we done a couple of weeks ago.
That wasn't him, I think that was an extra. Was it Jablonec?
Is it Hearts?
It's Hearts.
Aye.
But I thought it was Jabbernick, but it must have came. I
was
think
Hearts.
it came on after
He played
his
because
first start was against.
because he came in and he
Right,
played
right,
like the
right,
next
right.
day. Did he know against Hearts? I remember it.
Aye.
Aye.
Didn't quite have the
Fuck, why
success
did
of Scott Sinclair, but
Why did I know pick set Bastard B?
That'd be right.
right. Question number 2, right? Take a 1-0 lead. What trophy did Kyogo not win in his first season?
It would have been the Scottish Cup.
Correct. 1-0. Calum, a draw level. How many trophies has Kyogo won during his time at Celtic? I'll give you a second to count.
Aye.
I don't know why my head's still drawing a fucking blank here. Is it 10?
What did you get 10 for?
I don't know why I've generally just completely blanked the whole
is it-
season out there.
7.
Aye,
Aye,
7.
7. Aye.
Oh, fucking too far I went. I don't know why I was thinking.
You've given me an extra treble there.
I have.
Right, I'm leading.
Right, Ryan, to pull ahead here, question number 3. Which unique personal feat did Kyogo achieve from his first 2 domestic finals with Celtic?
Personal feat.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of what he done in the second final. He scored a brace in both.
Correct.
Aye.
I would have forgot that, but I mean, he scored the both against
I thought
Rangers
he only
and
scored
the,
one against Rangers in
and
the
the
head.
2-1.
Mm-hmm.
But
I could just.
Calum, to try and keep yourself in this, what was the reported fee Celtic paid for Kyogo?
Fucking hell.
That's
That's
how
fucking-
precise you asked him to be here because I feel that's a hard one.
I'll give you a $500,000
Right.
leeway.
Fuck, that was 4.5.
You don't need the leeway because that is bang on.
Bang on.
4.5 million I've got right here.
See, I would have said 4. That's why I was
Yeah,
like, I feel there was
round
so
about
many
that
conflicting currencies and all the rest of it, you know.
How much in yen? and there will be no leeway given. Question number 4, Ryan, to extend your lead again, the chance. We're at 2-1 now
2-1.
to go 3-1 up. True or false, Kyogo won both the PFA and Writers Player of the Year in 22-23.
22-23, so that would have been the treble winning season, wouldn't it have?
Mm-hmm.
True.
Correct. Calum, in which year will Kyogo's current contract finish at Celtic? I feel like these set B questions have been
Pretty tough.
Yeah.
I did pick the right set.
2027.
correct.
Oh,
So that,
wow.
was that 28? Wasn't sure.
I'm glad I'm not playing this week. I'm a set B man.
So it's 3-2 to me going into round 5.
So pressure's on you Nick, to win here, Ryan. How many Glasgow Derby goals has Kyogo scored?
7.
And ladies and gentlemen, this week's winner of the quiz is Ryan Fitzsimons.
Mate, I just thought to myself, if I don't guess, I'm going to be sitting to get a right answer.
Calum, for a consolation goal here, how many Champions League goals has Kyogo scored? Not including qualifiers. So.
It's 2 or 3. 2.
Correct.
Aye.
A respectable return.
GG.
From the
GG. That was
opposition
good. What,
team.
so 4-3?
That's 3. I was expecting to get a
That's
fucking
quite
donut, to be
close.
fair.
That's one of the highest. If you didn't fuck up that one about the table,
I know, I don't know why I started fucking added in another season in there. I don't know why.
Do you want to hear what the tiebreaker would have been?
Go on.
for it.
How many competitive goals has Kyogo scored for Celtic? As always, closest would have won.
How close is he to the big 100? I would have said... I'd have said 68.
What about you, Calum?
750.
Bang on for Calum.
Thank God you got that one.
That would have been fucking scenes of it.
I'm taking that for 2 points. I'm taking that back.
I don't fucking. I feel like getting you the win.
That's nuts, man.
So I'm finally off the board, league table. Aye, good. Feels good. Thank you for the hosting duties, and thank you for joining us this evening. We are finally going to get up the road at 10:05. Calum, I appreciate you, mate, for coming out tonight on a day
You're
when
going
you've
for
been,
a trucker's nap there.
you've been out for God knows how many years at this point, so thank you.
Try to work it in my head there, but too many at this point. Thanks for having us.
Numbers are not your strong point at the minute. Kieran,
Bang the door.
True, I can't say that actually. Kieran, thanks very much.
It's been a pleasure.
I've enjoyed it, and we should be back. We will be back next week with Ryan McGinlay, who should be here revisiting his old pals.
So change his setup.
And I was going to say that we can't sit here.
You can sit out there.
Put a camera on him in the corner.
We'll figure it out. Either that, or we'll be back to the old.
That'll be 5 for 5 this season as
5
well.
for 5, and then I'm
Don't
off
get
to,
fucking used to it.
and then I'll be off to Berlin. But anyway, thank you. Like and subscribe. 5 stars, Spotify, all that jazz. Follow us on the TikTok. We'll see you all next time.